The mission wasn't supposed to go this long. It was supposed to be a simple 3-day patrol outside. It felt very low risk. It was not really popular for villain activity. But one freak snowstorm and an unexpected landslide later, Class 1A found themselves stranded in a remote lodge built for hikers, deep in the mountains. It wasn't glamorous, but it had electricity, food, and most importantly, beds. Well, sorta? You stood in the center of a small wooden cabin, a duffel bag slung over your shoulder, while Aizawa handed out room assignments. One by one, people trickled off until only 3 of you remained in the common area. Bakugou, Kirishima, and, well, you. Your stomach twisted. Why, Aizawa said dryly, flipping a page on his clipboard. You're in the last room with Bakugou and Kirishima. Bakugou made a sound of irritation, though for him, that could just mean kind of anything. Figures, he scoffed. Kirishima scratched the back of his neck. Could be worse, right? He said, trying to smile and lighten the mood for everyone. Aizawa raised an eyebrow. Unless you'd prefer the cold floor. Bakugou scoffed, and Kirishima quickly shook his head. No, inside is fine. Definitely fine. You nodded, trying to look as neutral as her heart pounded. The room was smaller than expected. The wooden walls, a window frosted over with snow, a heater nearby humming in the corner. There was only one bed, one queen-size bed, and it wasn't small, but it definitely wasn't built for 3 teenagers. Well, you said, your voice quieter than usual. I guess we'll have to figure something out. I'll take the floor. Bakugou grunted, dropping his bag in the corner. Kirishima frowned. 2? Come on. You're gonna get a crick in your neck. Not my problem, Bakugou said back. You sighed and dropped your bag. Besides, let's not argue, okay? I can take the edge and, I don't know, I'll curl up if it's too awkward. We'll sleep just fine. Was it? It wasn't. You weren't stupid. You noticed how Kirishima's gaze lingered on you for a little longer than it should be. How Bakugou stopped calling you extras and started offering you water after training. Neither of them said anything, but the tension was there, crackling under the surface, electric and unspoken. And here you were, stuck in a cabin with a blizzard outside and one very narrow bed between you. Hours passed and 3 of you ate and sipped ramen in awkward silence, occasionally broken by Kirishima's forced jokes or Bakugou's muttered insults. Now it was late. You were brushing your teeth in the teeny tiny bathroom when Kirishima knocked gently on the door. You okay in there? He asked. You managed, with a mouthful of minty foam. He chuckled. Just making sure. A long day. You rinsed, drying your face with a towel. Yeah, longer than expected, I guess. You stepped out. Kirishima was leaning casually against the wall, arms crossed over his broad chest. He looked tired, eyes softer than usual. In the dim yellow lighting, there was something about it, something almost vulnerable in the way he was smiling at you. You know, he said slowly, I didn't really mind getting stuck here. Not really when I'm with you. It's not really bad. You blinked. Oh. He laughed at your expression. That came out weird, huh? I mean, we don't really spend a lot of time in together, and I like it. You opened your mouth to respond, but the words caught in your throat. Luckily, you were saved by Bakugou's voice from the inside room. Oi, if you two are done whispering out there, some of us are trying to sleep. Kirishima flushed. Coming, he called back, and then glanced at you sheepishly. Guess we should. You nodded, pulse quickening. Yeah, let's go. Inside, Bakugou was already under the covers, scowling at the ceiling like it had personally insulted him. He had taken the left side of the bed, furthest from the window. You crawled onto the right, keeping it to the edge, careful not to brush against him. Kirishima took the middle. This is fine, Kiri said, clearly trying to cleanse himself. The three of you lay in stiff silence for several long moments. Then, Bakugou grumbled. You're breathing too loud. Sorry, Kiri whispered. It's my nose, it's dry in here. You stifled a laugh and pulled the blanket tighter around your shoulders. You could feel the heat radiating from both of them. Bakugou's tense energy and Kirishima's easy warmth. Like you were lying between a fire and the sun. I can't sleep like this, Bakugou muttered, turning slightly. Same, Kirishima said with a sigh. Too much damn adrenaline. You stared at the ceiling. We're gonna be here a couple days, huh? Kirishima turned to you, voice low. Yeah, it looks like it. Guess we've got time to talk or something. Bakugou scoffed. We don't need to talk. Kirishima rolled his eyes. You never want to talk. I talk when it matters, dumbass. Then talk now. Silence. You held your breath, glancing between them. Finally, Bakugou exhaled sharply. Whatever. I just don't want you catching a cold, okay? Both of you. You blinked. That almost sounded like concern. Kirishima looked at him in surprise. Whoa, that was kind of sweet, man. Shut up. You're both warm, and I said I didn't want to sleep cold, that's it. You bit your lip, hiding a smile. Kirishima grinned and then reached over and gently draped his hand just across the middle. Careful and slow. Just for warmth, he teased, touching you. Bakugou grunted. You touch me and I'll explode your damn hand. You didn't dare move. Your heart was doing somersaults. Night, Kirishima whispered. Bakugou mumbled something unintelligible. And you just stared at the ceiling, wondering how you were supposed to sleep with two very obvious crushes breathing on either side of you, and pretending like they weren't. So you didn't sleep. Not really. You drifted in and out of consciousness, caught somewhere between too warm and too aware. Kirishima's arm, while light and casual at first, had gotten heavier throughout the night, eventually curling through your waist. In his sleep, Bakugou, who started facing me out the other way, had shifted at some point. When you dared to peek around at dawn, you saw him half turn towards you, face relaxed and hair messy, flopped over his forehead. He looked soft, peaceful even. He didn't dare move. Kirishima snored lightly behind you, breath puffing up the back of your neck. His hand was played over your stomach. Bakugou's knee had drifted dangerously close to your leg. This was fine. Totally fine. You close your eyes and try to focus on the distant sound of the wind outside of the cabin. The faint creak of wood and the hum of the heater. Anything but the fact that you were a human sandwich between your two best friends, both of whom, as far as you could tell, were crushing on you just as hard as you were on them. And neither of them knew how the other felt. Neither of them knew how you felt. It was a mess. A warm, wonderful, nerve-wracking mess. You must have eventually dozed off because when you opened your eyes again, it was lighter. The snowstorm had finally stopped. Sunlight poured through the frosted window. You must have dozed off eventually because when you opened your eyes again, it was lighter. The snowstorm had finally stopped and sunlight poured through the frosted windows, casting the soft, golden beams across the floor. Kirishima stirred behind you, groaning a little as he stretched. "What time is it?" he murmured, voice husky with sleep. "No clue," he whispered, trying not to wake Bakugou. "Too late." "What the hell is this?" Bakugou grunted, sitting up, glaring at the two of you now. His voice was low, rough, and embarrassed. "Why are you all over each other?" Kirishima blinked, finally realizing his position. "Ah, crap, I'm sorry, I must have rolled over." Bakugou narrowed his eyes at you. "You let him?" You flushed. I don't know, I didn't. He was asleep. It's not like I could shove him off or something." Kirishima scratched the back of his neck, clearly flustered. "Sorry, man, I didn't mean to get all grabby." Bakugou muttered, rubbing the back of his face. "Whatever, let's get some food." The three of you shuffled out of bed into the small kitchen area. Breakfast was eggs and some kind of grainy toast. It was warm, and no one was complaining. You sat around the little table, the tension from earlier still crackled in the air like a spark waiting to land. Kirishima kept stealing glances at you. Bakugou kept catching him doing it, and you pretended not to notice. After breakfast, you all layered up and stepped into the outside. In the snow-covered world, the storm had passed, but the roads were still buried. Rescue was expected by tomorrow. Until then, you were stuck. The air between you had been getting hard to ignore. That evening, while Bakugou was fixing the heater and cursing under his breath, Kirishima pulled you aside. "Hey, can we talk?" You nodded, following him out onto the small porch where your breath puffed up visibly from the cold. He rubbed his arms, his muscles flexing beneath his thermal shirt. He paused. "I don't want to make you uncomfortable with the bed thing last night." "You didn't," you said quickly. His shoulders relaxed. "Good, look, I've kind of always had this thing for you for a while." Your heart skipped. He laughed nervously. "Yeah, I know I'm not exactly subtle, but I just didn't want to say anything because I figured I'd mess everything up, especially with Bakugou and, you swallowed. "Why, especially with him?" Kirishima looked away. "Because he likes you too, and he just sucks at saying it." Your mouth went dry. "He what?" Kirishima nodded. "He's obvious in his own way. That's why I've been, keeping quiet. Didn't want to make it weird between us." You stood there in a stunned silence, heart thudding. "You don't have to say anything," Kirishima added quickly. "I just need to tell you before I went crazy." Kiri, wait." He looked at you, hopeful and nervous. "I don't know what to say. I like you and him. I didn't think either of you would like us back." Kirishima's eye widened. "You like us?" You nodded, cheeks hot despite the cold, and then from behind you, you've heard. Fucking know it. You turned around to see Bakugou leaning against the doorway, arms crossed, though his ears were differently pink. "You're both idiots," he muttered, sneaking off like I wouldn't notice when you guys love to whisper. Silence settled over you. It was soft and kind of unreserved. Then you smiled. "So what do we do now?" You didn't know. To be continued.